Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Henry Ford. My friends, each and every day, 10 to 15 minutes, no matter how many times you struggle, get up and keep at it. Why? Because it will be worth it when you become a charting master. Think about it. Keep that end goal in mind all the time. Once you master these charts and you can trade them, it'll be worth every minute you spent. And you will make up for all the time it took you to get there. This is not easy. It's not rocket science. It's charting art. And you learn it by doing it. Let's jump into these charts today. We see everything is up except, bonds are down, Bitcoin is down, gold and stocks are up. That's an easier way to say it. First, let's jump into the S&P 500 up 0.56%. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Boom, let's go back. What do we see going on here? Well, as we look at the high last week, it was 473.73. This week, 472.98, so we aren't reaching a higher high. We have an okay candle that's starting to form. As we look at the 2-day, we can see there clearly that we have not reached the high of last week. This candle finished drawing today. It was the Friday-Monday candle. We can see that Wednesday-Thursday candle of last week, but look at all that volume. Very interesting, not reaching a higher high, but higher volume to the extreme. So we shall pay close attention to that. We look at the weekly. Again, you can see all the volume that pumped in last week. We're starting off not even at a fifth. Now, we do have 5 days this week, so we'll keep an eye on that as we move along. Let's look at the half day. We can see again where things blew off, some on Friday, trying to build up today. We'll continue to watch. Of course, we are still in this trade. And as we just watch things as we continue to move to the end of the year, it's been a great trade for us. I think I told you Friday, somewhere around up 7%. So things are looking good. Hope you've been practice trading that with us. Now, what about the NASDAQ 100? Well, as we look here, we see the high last week, 406.54. This week, 407.99. So starting the week off up 0.43%, but reaching a higher high. You can see on the prior 2-day candle, the high 406.30, 407.99. So we're continuing to just edge up, edge up, edge up. We saw where things that originally popped up for 3 weeks started sliding sideways. Question marks that week beginning the 4th of December, but turned around the next week and kept on a-moving. And again, things going in the right direction. We'll see how long it goes, how long we stay in both these trades. Hope you are practice trading them both. Now, let's look at where we are on bonds. Bonds starting off a little weak. We aren't starting off hitting the high of last week yet. And look at all that volume last week. Again, volume starting off low here for the week. Crazy volume last week. Maybe we've topped, maybe we haven't. But man, has it not been a good trade so far? Just weeks and weeks of plowing up. Very, very beautiful. We can see here and look at all the volume. This is from both Friday and Monday. We can see the volume on Friday, the volume on Monday on that half-day chart. But again, really decent volume. As we look at where things were, the high on the Thursday was 99.04, 99.35. So we are starting the week off pumping up. That was Friday pumping up a little bit higher and then blowing off on Monday. But a decent 2-day candle. We'll keep our eye on things. So far, looking okay. We hope bonds are just going to continue to move up with stocks. Now, what's up with gold? Well, gold had really boosted up on the week beginning 27th of November, then started blowing off steam on the week beginning the 4th of December last week beginning the 11th. We had this red spinning top blowing through our weekly trend line. And again, when we see that happen, particularly on the weekly chart, does not keep us in a trade. This week, are we trying to start gaining a new upward momentum yet. Don't know enough, don't have enough information. Up 0.45%. You look at the 2-day, you see this spinning top, little above average. I mean, could have been finding a bottom, but was not confirmed by high volume finding that bottom and then moving around back up. We had lots and lots of volatility during that 2-day time period, 13th and 14th, with all that volume. Starting off with an up candle on the 2-day chart, down in the morning on Monday, up some in the afternoon. So we'll keep our powder dry and see what gold is going to do. Bitcoin pulling back as it starts the week. I want you to notice something interesting. We go back to the beginning of the year. When Bitcoin moves up and then starts to drop, okay, it did drop below here with a red doji, popped up a little bit more and then died. Then started its climb again, slid sideways, died. Popped up, slid sideways, died. This latest one, you know, we had a green here. Then, I mean, there's so much indecision as this latest move started. We see where things bottomed right around the 11th of September, that week beginning then. Got a green candle, then a green doji, then a green candle, then a red doji. And then the climb started, beginning Monday the 16th of October. Green, 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 green. Nice big green last week with all that volume. And then, week before last. Then this last week we had the red volume, only means that the week started off lower than the prior week ended. That's all this red volume means, but high volume there. And then this week, you know, lots of indecision starting things off. We can see the 2-day chart dying on the vine ever since we pumped things up that Thursday the 7th, Friday the 8th of December. Those other candles have really been blowing off that steam. So we're still above the weekly trend line on the 2-day and the half-day, but we are paying attention, wondering if now that we've dropped below that prior high and aren't starting off with a big kick, where is this going? We shall wait, we shall watch, we shall see. I want Bitcoin, now that it's started to become more trackable, it'd be nice if it did pull back, as we've seen in the past when we see this kind of pattern. Pulls back, moves back down, resets, and then clearly moves back up as we get into the new year. If it just keeps bounding up, makes it hard to find entry points. Now, those of you who say, hey, Tom, really want to start getting into Bitcoin, own my practice trades, how can I practice that? Well, if we see it reset clearly and then start to move up again, you know what you could do? You can always do, just every week, drop in your practice trades $20,000, $5,000, whatever it might be, just sort of dollar cost average when it looks like it's turning around. And then, of course, you're buying low. And as things move up, you're consistently putting more money in. And, of course, your basis, instead of dumping everything and taking the full risk early on, because our Bitcoin chart has not been super reliable. Why? Because you notice that when these moves initially take place, as they have over the course of this year, prior to this last move, in the first week or two, it pretty much covers everything and then drops. So again, it's almost like somebody set this up to scare you off. I'm hoping as things reset, it'll give us an opportunity not to be scared, but to feel good about getting in. And you need to practice the way you're going to trade in the future. So give that some consideration. We love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. Patreon members, thank you for all your support. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope we're going to see some great opportunities as we go throughout this week up to Christmas and into the new year. God bless my friends. All the best.